Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, MS Graphics here. And today guys, I'm going to be showing you how to design a karaoke night flyer using Photoshop. So without further ado guys, let's get right into the video. So for this project guys, I'll be using a 2000 by 2000 pixel size, a 300 resolution and an RGB color mode. And with all this selected, I head over to create. Then first things first, what I want to do is I want to place the image that I'll be using for my background. So let me head over to File, Place Embedded, and I'll head over to the folder where I have all my work files. And what I'll do is just to place this image to my workspace. Okay, and the next thing I want to do is to increase this using my transform controls. Okay, and then I'm going to move it to the right a little bit. Okay, so once I'm done with that, what I'll head over to is the aspect where I'll be typing in the write-ups that I'll be using for this project. So I'll be doing that and I'll be adding all the write-ups that I'll be using for this design. So let me start with Sunday. Okay, and for my font, I'll be using Southampton. And then I'm going to change the font color to white. And I'm going to increase the font size to 72. And then what I want to do is I want to type in the second test for this project, which is karaoke. And for this, I'll be using long shots as my font for the test. And I'm going to head over to the characters panel and I'm going to set this to all caps. So I'm just going to do that by clicking this icon right here. And then for my tracking, I'll be using minus 25. And I'm going to place it under the test Sunday. Okay, and then the next thing I want to do is I want to duplicate this karaoke test layer by hitting Ctrl J on my keyboard. And then I'm going to drag it down. And then I'll just grab my test tool and I'll edit this and I'll change it to night. As you can see, the test is Sunday karaoke night. So let me just move this layer, move this test to the right. Okay, so we have this right here, and next thing I want to do is I want to right click on the karaoke test layer, and then I head over to my layers panel, and then what I want to do is I want to right click, blending options, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to gradient overlay. And once you get to the gradient, you're going to see this drop down icon right here. What you need to do is to click this. And you see there are many presets that is already installed on Photoshop. But for this, I'll just head over to basics. And you notice this actually, this effect or this gradient overlay effect has already automatically picked up the two colors I have as my foreground and background colors. So that's what I'm going to be working with. So if you head over to basics most times on Photoshop, you can see a part of the effect that it has already created for you using your foreground and your background color. So this is what I'm going to be using for this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave my style at linear and then the angle at 90%, and I'll leave the scaling to 100. So with all this selected, I head over to OK. And as you can see, this is already looking nice on my design right here. And what I want to do is to select the second test, which is, or the third test rather. And I want to change the color to the color I have on my foreground color right here. Okay. And then what I want to do is I want to take this Sunday test to the top of the layer so that it shows above the karaoke. So let me just drag it to the top. Okay, and let me bring it down a little bit. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be adding the date and the time for this event. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to my zoom tool and I'm going to zoom in, and then I'll head over to the shape tool and I'm going to create a shape quickly. Okay, let me just remove the outline it created automatically. Okay, and for my shape color, I'm going to be using the color I have on my background. So let me just head over to the layers panel and then click on this, and then I'm going to be changing the color to the one I have on my foreground color. Okay, so I'll grab my test tool once again and I'm going to type in the date for this event. Okay, so for the date I'll be using 29th August. If I'm right, that's today's date. And then for the font I'll be using Dama. Okay, I'm going to be using the extended regular because I don't think I'll be working with the condensed version of this font. So let me just use this. And then I'm going to head over to my characters panel and I'm going to set this to all caps. Okay, then for the tracking, I'll be using -25%. Okay, then I'll hit Control T, which is transform, and I'm going to reduce this so that it fits into the shape that I already created for it. Okay, so let me just reduce that a little bit. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my move tool and I'm going to select the first rectangle shape, which is also named rectangle 1 on the layer. And then what I want to do is I want to duplicate it. So if you head over to the layers panel, you see that we have a duplicate of this shape that is called rectangle 1 copy. So what I want to do is I just want to change the color to white. And then I'll take it behind the rectangle 1 and I'm going to drag it down. Okay. Then what I want to do is I want to select the address test and sorry, not the address test. I want to select the date test and I'm going to duplicate it. Control J to duplicate, and then I'll drag it down and then I'll grab my test tool and I'll change this to the time, which is 7 p.m. And for my font color, I'll be using black. So I'm just going to drag this up here. Okay, so let me just adjust the shape a little bit. Okay, so I'm actually using Photoshop CC22 for this project. For those who actually notice the difference with their own version, the version I'm using right now is Photoshop CC22. Okay, so we have this set the address and the date all together. I don't know why I keep saying address. The time and the date is done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this. I'm going to select the whole address, the time, and also the shapes, and I'm going to hit Ctrl T on my keyboard. And what I want to do is I want to just reduce this a little bit. Okay, so let me drag it in, and then okay, let me just adjust this a little bit. I'm still seeing some differences there. Okay, so I feel this is okay. And then what I want to do is I want to add the address, like I've been mentioning the address, and I think it's actually high time I added the address because I don't know why I've been mentioning it since I started the video. So let me just add my address. So for the address, I won't be using a particular location. Like this is not a real place. I actually designed this for a club in Abuja, and they used it, and I posted it on Instagram, and you guys loved it, and some of you guys commented on the design that you guys wanted to see a tutorial on this. So I had to jump on it and show you guys how I did it. Okay, so I'm going to select this whole address, and I'm going to reduce the font size. And then for the color, I'll be using this color I have on my foreground. Okay, and I'm going to move this using my move tool, and I'll hit Ctrl T, which is transform, and then I'm going to reduce this just a little bit. Okay, so let me take it up. So we have Blazers Restaurant and Pool Bar. And what I want to do is I want to duplicate this address to add the rest of the address. So this is just the name of the club, and then the location where this club is will now be below the name of the club. So let me just do that quickly. Ctrl J, drag it down, and then I'll grab my test tool to actually edit this. Okay, so once I'm done with this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all, and then for the leading, I'll be actually reducing or increasing the leading value so that there'll be enough space in between the sentences or the text or anything you want to call that. So I'm going to head over to the leading, and then for the value, since I have my font size set at 19, so I'm going to set the leading to something similar. So that's the secret on how I actually get good leading values for my test. So since the font size is set at 19, I think let me use 18 for my leading value. And look, I think that's far. So my assumption wasn't correct this time around. So I'm going to set it to 14. Okay, so I've gotten the base point. So let me just set it to 15. Okay, so this is okay. And then for the font color, I'll be changing this to white. Okay, so I'm going to reduce this. What I want to do now is I want to add the number and the social media Instagram handle of this club. So to do that, I'm just going to place the phone icon. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to reduce this, take it to this point, and let me actually zoom into this. So because of the color doesn't blend with the color I'm using in this design, I'll actually solve this by heading over to my layers panel, and I'm going to head over to blending options, but this time around I'll be using color overlay, and then I'll set my color to white. Okay, and I just want to reduce it a little bit more. So then what I want to do is I want to type in the phone number. Okay, so let me just do that quickly. Okay, so for the font I'll be using for this, I'll be changing it to Aileron. Okay, I think let me go with regular. And then I'll head over to my characters panel, and what I want to do is I want to and so I'm setting my tracking values to -75. Okay, so my font size, I actually need to reduce this. Okay. Okay, so let me just reduce my phone icon. Okay. So next thing I want to do is I want to place the Instagram icon before I add the Instagram handle of this club. So let me just do that. Okay, so let me share a quick tip with you guys. Do you know that you can actually copy any effect you have on a layer to another layer? So for example, we have a color overlay on this phone icon. So instead of still repeating the process for the Instagram logo, all you need to do is while holding out, you drag this effect and you drag it to the layer that you want it to be in. And once you drag it to that layer, you notice that the same effect applies to the other layer that you want it to apply to. So let me just increase it a little bit. I'm trying to make it to be in the same size with the phone icon, and then what I want to do is I want to duplicate this number, and then I'll grab my text tool and then I'll add the Instagram handle of the club, which is Blazers Club. Okay, let me just Blazers Club underscore ng, and then I'm going to remove this from all caps by heading over to my characters panel and then just deselecting this. Okay. Okay, so I'm actually going to select the Instagram logo and then the Instagram handle and move it a little bit. Okay, and then I want to select all of them. That's both the phone icon and the phone number, and I want to group them. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out. And then I want to place this on the middle of the shape. So, okay. And then for the reason of clarity and because I can't actually see the number and the Instagram handle based on the fact that I'm using a brighter color and then a white color for my text, I'm actually going to fix that by changing the shape color to the one I have on my background color. So let me just do that quickly. Okay. And as you can see, that issue has been solved. It's actually clearer now, and you can see the text very well. So let me just increase this just a little bit. I hope I don't go back to reading it later in the video. So once I've done this, all I need to do is just select both the grouped layer and then the shape, and I'm going to group this, and then I'm going to name this contact details. Okay, so I want to zoom out, and then you can see we have this right here. So I want to group the similar layers together, and let me just do that quickly. So with all that done, I'm going to select all these groups that we have here. And then I want to convert it to a smart object. I want to head over to this smart object content. So to do that quickly, I'll just double click on the smart object thumbnail. And then it takes me to the smart object contents. And what I want to do is I want to increase this to 8000 by 8000 pixels. So I head over to image, canvas size, and for my values, I'll increase this to 8000 by 8000. So with all this selected, I head over to OK. And I have to wait for that to load up. I want to head over to file and save. Or you can just actually hit Ctrl S on your keyboard and it saves automatically. So once it's done saving, you just head over to your previous window where you have your designs. And you can see this right here. And what you want to do is to hit Ctrl T on your keyboard. And then you head over to this icon right here, this warp icon right here. And then for my warp presets, I'll be using wave. And then for my bend, I'll be using 10%. Okay, so we have this right here. And then just hit Ctrl A on your keyboard. And what that does is that it lets you align this horizontally and vertically. So let me just do that and then move it to the side a little bit. Okay. So in as much as I'm working with this background, I'm not actually pleased with the color of the background. So I can change this using the blending mode options on Photoshop. So to do that, I'll just head over to my layers panel here. And I want to create a new layer above the background layer. And then I'll head over to my background color. I'll hit this switch right here to switch from my foreground to my background color. So let me just do that. And then what I want to do is I want to grab my paint bucket tool. And then I want to just use that on the background. And then for the blend mode that I'll be using to actually make this blend with the background is that I'm going to be using color. So let me just come down to the color. And you can see it's blended more with the background than with all what I'm doing. So I'll be using this for now. And then what I want to do is I want to create a new layer. And then this time around, I'll be picking my brush. So I'm going to set the hardness to 0, and then the brush size, I'm going to use 1475. Okay, so with that selected, I'll still have this color as my foreground color. What I want to do is I want to just use it a little bit around here. Okay, and then what I want to do is I want to place an image that I'm using as my watermark on this design. So let me just place that quickly. Place embedded. And then for the blend mode, I'll be using soft light. And then what I want to do is I want to create a clipping mask. So I want to clip it to the layer that I have created with my brush. So I head over to create clipping mask. And then I'll rasterize this layer, and then I'll actually reduce the fill just a little bit, and then I'll select my eraser. Okay, let me just get a certain value for the fill, and then I'll select my eraser, and what I want to do is I want to just increase the size and reduce the hardness, and then I'll just remove some areas of this image with my eraser, and then this is already looking nice. So I think we are getting to the point where we'll be ending or be concluding this design soon enough. So let me just adjust this, and I'll move it to the side just a little bit, and then I'll be adding a PNG image that I downloaded from Love Peak. So let me just adjust this just quickly. So I'll move this a little bit. So I'm actually going to make some parts of the microphone to cover the test, to give it that nice feel. And then what I want to do is I want to select the test and the image, and then I'm going to move them a little bit to the middle so that it blends together. Okay, this is looking really awesome, and it's looking quite beautiful. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a lens glow to the end of this design, just to add some shiny effects to it. Okay, so let me place this, and then to actually remove these black parts, what I want to do is I want to first increase this, and then okay, let me shift it to the side a little bit, and then for my blend mode I'll be using screen. So as you can see, that has removed the excess black that we have on the image. So as you can see, it's actually looking okay. So the last thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adding the logo of the club just at the top right or the top left part of this design. So let me just zoom in. And then I want to actually say that I'm creating a logo. I just want to create something simple. But before that, I'm actually noticing an outline from the lens glow that I placed initially. So to do that, I'm just going to rasterize this. And then I'll use my eraser tool to just clear out that part. And then with that out of the way, I'm going to be heading back to my logo. Oh, it's not actually a logo. Let me not call that a logo. So let me just add it. Okay, so I'm going to be using the same font that I used for the address for this. So that's a Dama. Okay, I'll set it to all caps. And for my tracking, I'll be using -25. Okay, so for the font color, I'll be setting this to white. And then let me move it this way. And then under that, I'll just add restaurant and bar. And then for the font, I'll be using Eleron. Okay, semi-bold. And then I'll be reducing the font size. And then I think I'll be increasing the tracking to 200. And then I'll reduce this further. Okay. So I'm just going to move this here. And then I'll select this bolt, and what I want to do is I want to reduce this. And then I want to take it to the top, just here. Okay, so I'm actually going to zoom out to see how it looks. Okay, so I think it's actually okay. So let me just add some, let me reduce it a little bit more. Okay. Okay, so I think I'm okay with this. So as you can see, it's looking nice, and I hope you guys find this video interesting. So guys, if you're new to my channel, do well to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon to get notified each time I drop a new video. And if you already subscribed to my channel, I call you the champion. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for sticking with Mez graphics, and thank you for everything, guys. Like, the love is massive, and the comments and the shares and also the likes. So thank you, guys. Thank you for staying to the end of this video. Do well to have a nice day, and keep being creative. With all this said and done, Mez Graphics out. See you guys in my next video.